Greetings, Kentucky friends. If there's one good thing about Kentucky, it's when a recruit or prospect feels at home. And Reese Alston found the Wildcats to be a great community, according to him. Let's take a look at this news. But first, subscribe to the channel to receive more news from the Blue Team. Few places in college basketball breathe as much belonging as Lexington on a Big Blue Madness weekend. The annual celebration that marks the start of the Kentucky basketball season is usually an event of excitement, tradition, and, above all, identity. And it was in this setting that Reese Alston, a four-star point guard in the class of 2027, seemed to find something more than just an invitation. He found a sporting home. Alston, one of the most talked-about names in the college circuit, described Kentucky with simplicity and sincerity. It's a great community. The phrase may sound like a passing comment, but within the context of the cultural rebuilding Mark Pope has been promoting in his first full recruiting cycle, it carries special weight. When a young talent from Houston, Texas, crosses the country and leaves Lexington talking about community, it's a sign that something profound is being built behind the scenes. Big Blue Madness, once again, fulfilled its role of showcasing the greatness and soul of the program. It was a night where past and future collided. John Wall, a lifelong fan favorite, returned to be celebrated, and youngsters like Reese Alston and Dawson Batty, another top 10 talent from the 2027 class, were there to witness the spectacle and imagine themselves, perhaps, donning royal blue at Rupp Arena. Alston left the event with an official offer from the Wildcats. The 6'11" kid, known for his explosive first step and game control, impressed with the maturity in his words and his understanding of where he was stepping. It was definitely a great event, he said, describing the loud and passionate atmosphere of a fan base that, year after year, remains the beating heart of college basketball. The campus is great, he added, highlighting one of the greatest strengths of the Kentucky experience, the ability to engage not only athletes, but entire families and communities. During the visit, Alston attended a demonstration practice and got a first-hand look at the style Mark Pope instills in his players: intensity, energy, and teamwork. "I do a lot of the things he expects from his players," said the young point guard, demonstrating a natural affinity with the system. Pope has worked to modernize Kentucky's game without losing the program's essence: discipline, speed, and camaraderie. What Alston saw on the court seemed to reinforce the idea that the new Kentucky is as committed to the future as it is respectful of the past. "Everyone knew each other on the team," Alston said. "Everyone had a bond and was close." This seemingly simple observation speaks volumes about the current state of the program. Coach Mark Pope, a former Wildcats player and symbol of a generation that understands the weight of the jersey, has been rebuilding the team's collective spirit, transforming the locker room into a space for connection. And that, for an elite recruit, is as valuable as any tactical promise. Reese Alston's pedigree isn't just any ordinary one. The son of Rafer Alston, a former NBA point guard and idol of an era marked by creativity and refined technique, the young man carries not only genetic talent, but also a competitive mindset. His father described his son as a player who is always in control, no matter what the defense throws at him. And, indeed, it is this control, both emotional and technical, that seems to perfectly align with the philosophy Pope seeks to cultivate. Kentucky's interest in Alston demonstrates a clear strategy: target players who not only shine with their skills, but who understand the value of being part of something bigger. Pope knows that rebuilding greatness depends not just on shooting and winning, but on recruits who see the program as an extension of their own history. Reese Alston is scheduled to visit Purdue in January, but his time in Lexington certainly left its mark. The way he described the atmosphere, the energy in the gym, and the welcoming atmosphere of the people indicates that Kentucky basketball remains true to its tradition of welcoming talent and transforming them into part of a brotherhood that spans generations. Mark Pope has said little but done a lot. Under his leadership, Kentucky has once again become a place where basketball is lived intensely, where work is shared, and where every recruit feels. As Alston put it, it's a great community. So could you join it? This uniform and playing for Kentucky. It's an honor few get to experience, and believe me, it will shape your lives forever. Rajon Rondo's words echo as a call to the pride and responsibility that comes with wearing Kentucky's blue and white. They also serve as a powerful reminder that the program isn't just a machine for churning out NBA talent, but rather an institution steeped in decades of history, tradition, and passion. For Mark Pope, now in his second year in Lexington, capturing the nation's #1 recruit, Tyron Stokes, would be more than just a recruiting win. It would be a clear sign that he's on the right track to restoring Kentucky basketball to its highest prestige. The comparison between Stokes and Rondo isn't made lightly. Both are point guards endowed with exceptional skills, above-average vision, and an innate ability to lead on the court. Just as Rondo was a difference-maker during the Tubby Smith era, Stokes has the potential to be the catalyst Pope's team needs to return to national championship contention. And, perhaps even more importantly, bringing Stokes to Kentucky would be a bold statement, proof that the program remains an attractive destination for the best talent in the country, even in the face of increasingly fierce competition. The context for this decision couldn't be more symbolic. Stokes is considering Louisville, Kentucky's archrival, among his options. This dynamic evokes memories of Rondo's choice nearly 2 decades ago, when he opted to set aside the pressures of representing his hometown to embrace the challenge of playing under the bright lights of Lexington. Back then, Rondo's selection was a monumental victory for Tubby Smith, cementing Kentucky's dominance at the state and national level. Now, with Pope trying to carve out his own identity at the helm of the Wildcats, Stokes' decision could have an equally profound impact. But what makes Stokes so special? Beyond his ranking as the top player in the class, he embodies the type of modern athlete that thrives in today's college basketball. He combines the ball control and creativity of a classic playmaker with the ability to score and adapt to different styles of play. His versatility makes him a lethal weapon in quick transitions and in movement-based offensive systems, something that aligns perfectly with Pope's philosophy. If Stokes chooses Kentucky, he won't just be another name on a roster. He'll be the engine that drives the team, someone capable of elevating the performance level of his teammates while assuming the responsibility of leading the group. However, the comparison with Rondo goes beyond technical skills. Just as Rondo brought a fiercely competitive mentality and a relentless work ethic to Kentucky, Stokes has the chance to do the same. He would be the face of a new era, a player who not only strives for impressive individual stats, but is also committed to returning Kentucky to the pinnacle of college basketball. For Pope, securing this endorsement would be a turning point in his career, validating his vision and solidifying his position as the right man to lead the program. It's impossible to ignore the emotional and symbolic weight of this decision. For BBN fans, seeing Stokes choose Kentucky over Louisville would be a victory that transcends the sporting aspect. It would be an affirmation that, regardless of who is in charge, Kentucky remains home to the greatest talent and the greatest ambitions. And, for Pope, it would be proof that he's building something special, something that will resonate with fans and players for years to come. Of course, none of this is guaranteed. The recruiting process is unpredictable, full of twists and turns and uncertainty. However, the possibility of Stokes choosing Kentucky generates a palpable energy, a sense that something big is about to happen. If he does decide to wear a Wildcats uniform, He'll be stepping into a legacy that includes names like Rondo, Tayshaun Prince, and so many other program icons. He'll have the opportunity to write his own chapter in this rich and vibrant history. For Mark Pope, this moment represents both an opportunity and a challenge. He knows that Stokes' success in Lexington will depend not only on the player's individual talent, but also on his ability to create an environment where he can thrive. Just as Tubby Smith made the most of Rondo's unique qualities, Pope will need to find ways to maximize Stokes' potential while integrating him into the existing roster. We want to see it. In Lexington, the talk of the week revolves around a name Kentucky fans have been missing on the field. DJ Waller Jr., the cornerback, who arrived as one of the most promising transfers from Michigan, appears to finally be turning the page after a difficult period with injuries. And for Coach Mark Stoops, this is more than good news. It's a glimmer of hope ahead of one of the most challenging tests of the season, when Texas arrives at Kroger Field. Stoops, who is usually cautious in his public assessments, sounded optimistic during the weekly show with Tom Leach. "I hope we get DJ Waller back," the coach said. "He's one of our big guys, with great length at the cornerback position. I hope he comes back full strength. He was out there today, and he looks good." Words are music to the ears of the Bluegrass fans, thirsting for defensive stability in a season marked by the secondary's inconsistency. Waller, an imposing athlete with a remarkable presence on the field, hasn't played since the Week 1 victory over Toledo. A hamstring injury sidelined him, and his absence was felt with every snap as opponents exploited the field with ease. The numbers don't lie. Kentucky has allowed an average of 248.6 passing yards per game so far this season, 14th in the SEC. It's the kind of statistic that bothers any defensive-minded coach, especially one like Stoops, who built his reputation on solid, disciplined units. The coach, however, has been patient, and there's a clear reason for this. Last year, Waller had already faced a similar injury history, making any haste an unnecessary risk. He was eager. He wanted to get back to playing, Stoops explained. But he has the kind of injury where he tried to recover too quickly and ended up getting hurt again. The desire to return is definitely there. We just need to protect him from himself. This cautious approach demonstrates Stoops' maturation as a leader. The coach understands the importance of a player like Waller in the rotation, but understands that sacrificing the long term for a hasty return would be a mistake. Kentucky isn't just trying to beat Texas this Saturday. It's trying to build consistency and confidence in a unit that desperately needs it. Waller's return, of course, won't solve all the problems at once. Freshman Terrion Nichols has been solid, but the rest of the secondary has struggled, especially on third down situations. Still, the return of a cornerback with Waller's wingspan and athleticism offers something the stats don't capture: balance. He not only covers space, but gives Stoops' defensive system the ability to be more aggressive, to pressure the quarterback without the constant feeling of vulnerability downfield. The clock is ticking, and the visit of Arch Manning and the Longhorns' offense will be no small test. Despite his illustrious surname and lofty expectations, the Texas quarterback hasn't yet found his rhythm, which makes this weekend scenario a real opportunity for Kentucky to turn things around. With Waller, the team gains more than a defender. It gains confidence, identity, and perhaps a turning point in a season that could still be salvaged. Stoops closed the program with a statement that felt more like a vote of confidence than a simple medical update. DJ was definitely one of our best players. He has the physicality you're looking for, the speed, the wingspan. I hope he has a great week. He's off to a good start. Amid the uncertainty surrounding Kentucky football, these words serve as a reminder that the talent is there and the direction is right. Waller represents more than just a piece returning to the board. It represents a chance for the team to rediscover the combative spirit that always define the Wildcats under Mark Stoops. Leave your comment now.